Hello guys, welcome to my channel Testing vs IT. So we are going to discuss about an emerging topic, Selenium. Selenium is an test automation tool. Test automation in the sense, for example, you are going to test a particular software or particular application. For example, we every one of us use Facebook. So in my tutorial and along with our journey of Selenium, I am going to use and take an example of Facebook every day so that you guys will understand better. Yes, so Facebook, what you guys generally do while using Facebook? First of all, you guys do registration, or you can say sign up. After you do sign up, you will get your particular user ID and password. With respect to the user ID and password, you guys do login. After you log in, it will redirect to your home page, or you can say the timeline, and you can use respective actions. After that, you do log out. So think guys, you will make a particular, suppose somebody will say that to test Facebook, what you guys will do, you will check the login page. If you will give the wrong user ID, then you will give the wrong password, and you will test the feasibility of the application. So suppose I will come and I will tell that to test and to automate completely Facebook. Automate in the sense, it will hit the browser, it will open the browser, it will open the Facebook, it will scroll down, it will check everything, and it will give you the result. So how you can going to do this? So Selenium gives us a feature known as a particular. Selenium is nothing but it's a plugin, you can say, and or you can say it's a tool. Selenium is not a software, remember guys, it's not in software, or it's not a scripting language. Selenium either is a plugin, you can say, or it's a tool. I will let you know what are the benefits and how we are going to use. So first let me discuss why automation, why we are going for automation, or why we opt automation in our software industry. So the basic thing we opt automation to, that is nothing but for regression purpose. So when I'm talking about the regression purpose, what do you mean by what regression? Regression is nothing but the thing what you are going to do continuously. Suppose I'm saying that, for example, you are going to test a login page. Your manager will say that test login page continuously with different browsers, or for example with different OS and with different set of data. So Selenium supports, for example, for the regression purpose we use Selenium. Second thing is that it reduces manual effort. So when I'm saying it reduce manual effort, for example, I can say, for example, you are going to test a login page, for example IRCTC website. So in the IRCTC website we have login credentials. After you do login, it will redirect it to the next page. You can do reservation or cancellation like that. Suppose you are doing manual, you're testing manually. Once you write the code, you can run n number of times. So it reduces manual effort. As it reduces manual effort, it reduces the time, and once it reduces the time, it will give you more productivity. So that is the best part of a test automation tool like Selenium. So next topic, we are going to discuss the criteria of automation. So what is the criteria of an automation? When I'm saying criteria means the basic needs, or what is the basic thing you need to automate a particular thing. So the first criteria for automating is your system should be stable. When I'm saying your system should be stable, what do you mean by your system should be stable? So guys, think. So when I'm saying your system should be stable, for example, you guys think, for example, you are hosting a particular web application. So after you host a web application, and your requirement says that to change it on weekly basis. Today you are making something, next day you are changing the page, third day you are again changing the page. So every day if you are changing the page, you cannot automate it, because automation is saying that if you are automating it, your page should be stable, or your system should be stable, otherwise your code will not work. Why your code will not work, we'll see in our future tutorials. So our first part is your system should be stable. So second thing is the most important thing, that is the knowledge on the tool. So whatever the tool, whatever you are going to use, the knowledge of the tool, it should be there. If you're not knowing the knowledge of the tool, then it's no use. So guys, after the criteria of automation, I'm not going to discuss about the advantages and disadvantages. Before that, I want to discuss something like what is the, or you can say what are the key components, or you can say what are the features of Selenium. So while discussing about the features of Selenium, let me tell you something about the Selenium. Selenium is not a only single test automation tool in the market. In the market we have QTP, in the market we have fitness tool, we have UFT, which is the higher version of QTP, we have then HP Quality Center, we have Railing, we have many other tools. So why we are preferring Selenium than other tools? So guys, first of all, let me tell you something, a better thing, or you can say a feature about Selenium. The feature about and the best part is it's an open source tool. When I'm saying it's an open source tool, that means it's a free software, or you can say it's a free plugin. So when I'm talking about it's a free plugin, when I'm saying it's a free plugin, so you can think that you can download Selenium in free of cost. Not only free of cost, you can share in free of cost, means copyright is free. For example, let me discuss something. Suppose you are buying your own laptop. After you buy your own laptop OS or the operating system, it has been already installed on your software because you have already paid for it. Because suppose you guys are using Windows 7, your guys are using Windows 8 or Windows 10, you have to pay for the Windows particular operating system. You cannot get it for free of cost. And in the same way, you cannot share the particular OS to anybody because that is a licensed one and it can be used only once. But Selenium is saying that not only you can download it for free of cost, but you can share it to anyone. So that is the beauty of Selenium. So that's why it is known as an open source software. Next, discuss about what are the advantages of the Selenium. So while I'm going with the advantage of Selenium, the first thing is you can work with Selenium. You can work with Selenium in multiple scripting languages. So while I'm saying you can work with Selenium in multiple scripting languages, you can work with Java. For example, a Java developer or a Java who knows Java, he will come and he will say that I know Java, I don't know Python. I will say that yes, you can work with Selenium. Suppose a Python guy will come and he will say that I don't know Java, can I work? Yes, you can work with Selenium. Similarly, suppose a guy who knows C hash or Ruby or Perl, he can say that I know C hash or Ruby or Perl, can I? Well, yes, you guys can work with Selenium also. So not only C hash, Perl, Ruby, Python, Java, but Selenium also gives multiple scripting languages you can work with. So let's see the second advantage. The second advantage of Selenium is you can work with multiple OS. While I'm talking about multiple OS, you can work with Windows 7, you can work with Windows 8, Windows 9, or I'm sorry guys, Windows 10, and you can work with Mac, you can work with multiple other OS. What Linux, Ubuntu, and number of OS you can work with. Let's see the third advantage. Basically, with respect to the Selenium, you can work with multiple devices. When I'm talking about multiple devices, for example, let's say guys, so think guys, suppose Facebook will come today, you're using Facebook in desktop application, you can use Facebook in laptops, you can use Facebook in tabs, you can use Facebook in Mac, you can use Facebook in your iPads, you can use Facebook in mobile. Similarly, we need particular software or particular testing tool which you can easily test in particular or any devices you want. You can test it in mobile also. With respect to the help of APM you can say is a part of the Selenium. We are going to discuss in our future classes, which helps for the testing of our mobile devices also. So this is particularly the advantages of Selenium. So let's see the fourth advantage of Selenium. The fourth advantage, it is saying that you can work with multiple web browsers. So when I'm saying multiple web browser, so when I'm talking about multiple web browser thing guys, suppose today Facebook will come and he will say that from today onwards Facebook will work only in Chrome. I'm saying, just take an example. So Facebook will come and he will say that today I will work only in Chrome, not in IE, not in Firefox, or not in Safari, not on other browsers. So the guys who are using for only IE or only Firefox, only Safari, what they will do, they are not going to use Facebook, correct? So that is the thing. So that's what the Selenium also came with a feature, that it will work on the multiple web browser. Just for information, I just want to share you something. people in the world, there are near about 75 to 80% of the people in the world who are using Firefox only, or only I. Do you know why they are only using I? Because I is very secured. Yes, I very secure. It is very difficult to hack I, because if you're working with something like Chrome or Firefox, you can easily, or they can get to know your behavioral pattern, but it's very difficult while you're working with I. So these are the basic advantages of Selenium. So let me type it down. I can say Chrome, I can say Firefox, I can say I can say Safari, and there are lots and lots of things. So guys, for example, let's discuss about the disadvantages of the Selenium. So you guys love Apple iPhone, right? Every one of us Apple iPhone. I can say most of us love iPhones. So along with the advantages of iPhone, we have many disadvantages, like you cannot share the photos or something like that, or something, or I can say that like you cannot download the apps, or you can it's not very easily, you cannot get any downloaded version, you cannot share the thing. So similarly, when I'm talking about an advantage of Selenium, it do have a disadvantage also. So the first disadvantage is, I told you the basic advantage or the basic feature of Selenium is it's an open source, it's a free plugin, it's a free of cost you are getting it. So whatever the thing you are getting for free of cost, similarly the main disadvantage is that you will not get support easily. So when I'm saying that you will not get support easily, I mean to say that, for example, you are a customer of Airtel, Vodafone, Idea, or any kind of cellular networks what you are preferring to. So suppose you are paying a monthly fees of 400 to 500 rupees for using of those kind of applications, or you can say those kind of telecom centers. So suppose on a fine day, suppose 20 rupees or 30 rupees has been deducted, so easily you can call to the customer care service. For example, you are ordered something from Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra. If your order is delayed, you can get easily your, or you can directly contact to the service centers. But the thing is that as Selenium is a free of cost, we don't have a service center for Selenium, and so that you will not get support easily. From only the centers where you can get support from Selenium is only the online forums. That is a major disadvantage of Selenium. So talking about the next disadvantage of Selenium, it doesn't support web-based, or you can say desktop applications. As I told you earlier, is that Selenium only supports web-based applications. It doesn't support web, or it doesn't support desktop application. Desktop applications means VLC media players, or you can say Skype, or you can talk about anything, or you can talk about like my computer, C drive, or any drive. It doesn't support desktop application, what you can download from somewhere and you can use it. Now let's discuss about the third disadvantage of the Selenium. Third disadvantage of Selenium is Selenium doesn't support your captcha. So while I'm talking about something like captcha, so let me give you a brief description what do you mean by an captcha. Captcha is nothing but, for example, you are opening an IRCTC website. So while you open an IRCTC website, you can see that there will be login option. In the login option, there will be user ID, there will be password, and there will be captcha, where it's a kind of image where you want to see, and then you want to enter the details and you want to hit enter. So Selenium is unable to read the particular segment as captcha. So these are the basic disadvantages of Selenium. So let's go with the advantages part, or the feature part, that is it's an open source and you can get it for free of cost, and you can use it, you can share it. Advantage of Selenium, you can work with multiple scripting language like Java, Perl, C#, or Python. So talking about an OS, you can use Windows 7, Windows 10, Windows 8, Mac, and you can work with multiple devices, can mobile application, desktop applications. You can work with the multiple web browsers, Chrome, Firefox, Safari. Disadvantage of Selenium is that you cannot get support easily, and it does not support desktop applications like VLC media player, Skype, etc. And the third thing is that it doesn't support captcha. So these are the basic advantages and disadvantages of the Selenium. Let's move to our second part, from where Selenium came from. So when I'm talking about Selenium, I can say that, or think, today Selenium we are using, that is Selenium 3.6. So today we are using Selenium 3.6. So Selenium, obviously guys, it's not evolved today from many years it has been evolved itself. So first thing, what Selenium came to the market in the form of Selenium IDE. Yes, now you guys are thinking that I told IDE means where we can write something, we can implement something, but how can it be possible is that Selenium came with its own IDE? Yes guys, initially Selenium came with its own IDE, that is nothing but Selenium IDE, integrated development environment. It gives only a feature as record and playback. It gives us a feature of record and playback. So there are few advantages or disadvantages of Selenium IDE. So talking about the advantages is it works very fast. So when I'm talking that it works very fast, to think like how it works. Similarly, for example, you already, every one of you use mobile nowadays. So you have recorder, you can record the voice. Similarly, while testing, you just have to start and stop. When you click on the start, it will record your test case. When you click on stop, in the backend, in the form of HTML code or in the form of JavaScript or in the form of core Java, the complete code will be stored into the Selenium IDE. Now you can copy the piece of code and you can run n number of times anywhere. So that's what Selenium IDE is very good at. So that's why every one of us, or in that time, people love Selenium IDE and its betterment of the use. So talking about the disadvantages of the Selenium IDE. So when I'm talking about the disadvantages of the Selenium IDE, the first disadvantage I will say that it works only with the Firefox. So when I'm saying it works only with the Firefox, it doesn't support other devices, or it doesn't support other web browsers. Next, the second disadvantage is that you cannot change or you cannot manipulate while testing. For example, I will tell you to test a login feature of particular web application with different user ID and password, and for example I will give you three data sets, three user IDs with three different combination of passwords. You are testing it. Suppose your manager came, or suppose I will come and I will ask you to test with more to different user IDs. You cannot change it, because once you have entered, that will remain fixed. You cannot change it in your run, not in the runtime. So you have to change the complete set of code for using it. That is the major disadvantage of Selenium ID. That's why Selenium people came into the market with the second concept of Selenium, that is nothing but Selenium RC. So people call Selenium RC that RC is nothing but remote control. So when I'm talking about remote control, obviously it is not controlled by remote. So the name suggests, why the name suggests and how it came to the market. So let's see guys, Selenium RC says that, or Selenium, why the Selenium RC came into the market. It's saying that RC is nothing but a remote control. It's a completely a third party server. Let's say for example, Selenium is saying that you need to write the Selenium piece of code in an IDE like Eclipse. So while you are writing your piece of code in IDE, and then it heads to a third party server known as RC server. From the RC server it redirects to the browser. Let's see an example how it is working. So let's see, let me explain to you guys how it is working. So for example, this is my IDE where I'm going to write my piece of code. So it can be Eclipse, it can be Komodo, it can be NetBeans, it can be anything. Next, what I can choose is my third party tool, that is nothing but a third party server, that is nothing but mine RC server. So this is my RC server. Next, discuss about the third thing, that is nothing but the web browser, where you are going to see the result and test the application what is happening. So this is my web browser. So what generally happens is, or what is happening into the market is, basically what happens is, when you are writing anything into the IDE, it redirects to the RC. So after you writing something, it redirects to the RC. What RC does it redirects to the web browser. So after it redirect to the web browser, similarly whatever the result you are getting, the web browser redirect the particular thing to the RC server. Once you redirect to the RC server, the RC server redirects again to the IDE. This is for every single line of code. For example, you wrote 10 line of codes. So once you write 10 line of codes, the what happens is continuously what the ID does is it passes those commands to the RC. What the RC server will do that it passes those commands to the web browser. Similarly, this will create a huge traffic and it will take a hell lot of time. So people doesn't like the way they have liked IDE. Why? Because IDE, I told you that it works very fast, and in the other hand RC works very slow. That's why people doesn't love RC and they are unwilling to work with RC. So what happens is Selenium guys came with a concept of Selenium WebDriver. So before I discuss about Selenium WebDriver, let me tell you something. So I hope you guys have many times installed a cracked version of your, let's say, Windows 7 or Windows XP or Windows 8 or Windows 7 10 on your particular devices, laptops or desktop. That time after installing, or if you have installed correctly also, you can see that there will be the drivers available. You first need to download the drivers, let's say audio driver, Wi-Fi driver, Bluetooth driver. You need to run the driver, then only you can work with particular devices, suppose say audio and other things. Similarly, Selenium guys also came with the concept of WebDriver. What do you mean by an WebDriver? Let's see. Yes, so WebDriver came with a concept of such a thing that it is saying that not inside the browser like Firefox, Chrome or something like that, they are installing their own drivers to work with. Then after they came with the concept, they release in the market. What happens is after that ID can directly interfere or interact with the web server or browsers. Then it has become much faster than RC and people loves the WebDriver. So currently after that they made with a concept that, so as we have discussed here, you can see that Selenium RC, in the Selenium RC they made with few modification with the use of multiple web browsers. So not only multiple web browsers, they are working with multiple scripting language. So after multiple scripting language, they have started working with, or they have given these features in the RC itself: multiple web browsers, multiple scripting languages, you can work with multiple IDs. But the main difference they have given is they are giving a third party server to interact. So once they have installed the driver system in the WebDriver, or you can say Selenium WebDriver, so what they have done is they have combined Selenium RC with the Selenium WebDriver. They have combined Selenium WebDriver with Selenium RC and they come with a concept of Selenium 2.0. So Selenium 2.0, it consists of both Selenium RC and Selenium WebDriver. So what happens is after Selenium 2.0, they came and they evolved themselves. So Selenium 2, now what we are using is Selenium 3.6. it has came to the market. To the currently we are using Selenium 3.6. now after Selenium WebDriver, we are currently using, apart from Selenium, we are using Selenium 3.6 for our testing purpose. Apart from Selenium 3.6, we are using Selenium Grid. So as the name suggests, grid is nothing but, you guys can say, a set of parallel lines or something like that. Yes, so Selenium Grid came with the concept of that you can do parallel execution or you can do parallel testing. What do you mean by parallel testing? For example, today you have Facebooks, right? Facebook can work on multiple OS, multiple devices, or you can say multiple browsers. So if Facebook, they will come with a concept, or suppose they will say that you need to test Facebook in a single shot. Obviously they cannot test it one by one, right? For example, they cannot test first with the single OS. Suppose they cannot test first with XP, then with 7, then with 8, then with 10, with combination of different devices, right? They cannot do like that. They need to run in a batch, in parallelly. So Selenium Grid came with the concept of that write once. So you need to write once and run multiple times, or you can say n number of OS and devices. So either you can write once you have to write once and you can run in multiple OS in a single shot. So that is the particular advantage of Selenium grid. So this is the basic thing what we have covered about Selenium. In our my next tutorial I will be showing you how to install Selenium, what are the things required for the Selenium, what is the basic features and functionality of the Selenium. And so please subscribe this channel and please gives your valuable feedback, and you can send your anything what if you want any notes about Selenium, any online classes of Selenium, you can send the details in this particular Gmail, testingverseit@gmail.com. Thank you guys. Thanks for today. Bye.